I'm Dr. laJoyce Brookshire, and I'm in studio with Dr. Steve Perry, TV host of the new show Breakthrough with Dr. Steve on Fox. He's an educator, a motivator, a social worker, and an author. So thank you for that, what you were giving us before the segment. Wow, about doing your work and the need to do it, and that all of us have something that we're working on. You know, I wanted you here today because I know you're an advocate for helping children and their families.
That is correct.
And we've been conquering this concept of laying down the weight, mind, body, and soul, and issues which affect the human condition. And one of the things that I know is that a lot of people are stuck in their lives, which usually stems from some kind of childhood trauma.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes with what you said with earlier about people accepting what people have said to them.
Yeah. So, you know, a lot of us don't realize that much of childhood is traumatic for many people.
Yes.
And we can think about some of the most obvious traumas: sexual abuse, rape. We could think about physical abuse, mental abuse. But there are other forms of trauma that occur during childhood. What makes something traumatic is not the inherent action. It's the way we internalize it. And so for some of us, being poor might be something that we reflect upon as a character builder. For others of us, it becomes a stain that we carry with us for the rest of our lives. We're embarrassed by it.
Wow.
For some of us, being gay may be a stain that you carry on your childhood. But for others of us, it may be an opportunity to find out who you really are. Whatever the thing is that you were dealing with, that some people, it was difficult.
Yes.
Other people, it was a defining moment. You know, many of us who have relatives, right, who have, I should say siblings is what I meant to say. Many of us who have siblings, and we seem like we're doing all right for the most part. And then we look at them and we think, damn, what is going on with this dude? And then one of the first things that we say is, we grew up in the same house. We got the same mother and father, right? We start going down the list.
And you're trying to figure out what happened.
Right. The fact is that they internalized the world differently than we did. For them, the one indication that I see that makes people fall down almost absolutely is the internalization that the world is against me.
Yeah.
You know, it's that brother who's like, man, my boss don't like me. Does any boss like you? My baby's mothers, they ain't really cool with me. Like, are any ever cool with you?
I just have a question, though. But, like, who ever told you that the world was going to coddle you and rock you?
Well, there are people who do say that. And that's where I find myself struggling with a lot of our parents. A lot of our parents don't want, you know, they want every child to have a trophy.
That's wrong.
Well, yeah.
That's where they set it up.
Well, yeah. So, but it doesn't stop it from being so.
That's true.
And, you know, we don't understand that the way, and people tend to, you got to really, like this one, you got to ride with me on. So a lot of people think that by saying to someone, you can overcome that, that you are somehow undermining the power of the impact of that. I suggest, yes, you are undermining it. You're actually making it less powerful. You know, so many of us are carrying around secrets.
Yep.
And those secrets are so damn toxic.
Yes.
You know, I don't know about other families, but within a lot of the black family, there's so many secrets that we carry when we get together. Because once you start getting older, right, you know, you go to the cookout.
You want to shed them.
Well, you go to the cookout and you got to act like you don't know. Right? Yeah, everybody gotta act like
we don't know Uncle Willie's a freak.
Right? Like, you know, you in his house a lot of times, and you walked in on things that you thought, wow,
yeah,
is he a police officer? Cause why are the handcuffs in his bedroom? Right? So, you know, we have so many secrets that are binding us, and I'm saying once we relent and let them go and let them be, they lose their power.
But wait a minute, we've also been threatened within an inch of our lives. What happens in this house
stays in this house.
You know it.
And so part of our problem is that we're all, and I mean all, walking around with something that we feel like, man, if people knew this about me, they would judge me so much differently. And the truth is, they probably will. They just will respect you. Say what you want. I'm not a fan of our president at all. But hear me when I say this. Hear me when I say this. Love him or hate him, he's gonna stand up and say what he feels.
That's for sure.
Love him or hate him, and again, I'm not co-signing that. But imagine if you use those powers for good.
Amen.
So imagine if you found somebody who says, yes, when I was younger, I was fat and I hated when they called me fat. So I became obsessed with working out and now I'm fit. Well, okay, so you switched out addictions, right? How about we deal with what it was?
How about that?
How about we talk about what that is?
Yeah.
And we take the power away from it, because guess what? You might be able to work out 2 hours a day now, but get yourself a wife or spouse and some kids, and that 2-hour workout gets real short, real fast.
Yeah.
Real short, fast. What I want people to understand is that you're beautiful because of your challenges.
That's right.
That when you fracture a diamond, that's what breaks the light apart.
Absolutely.
That's what they do. They cut the diamond so that it shines more brilliantly.
Yeah.
It takes this thing and makes it more brilliant. Yeah. It shines it up in ways in which we never thought. Stop hiding from yourself. You don't deserve that. You deserve better, man.
You do indeed.
We all do. I mean, and again, that person who has this secret right now, you're giving them that power.
That's what you're doing.
So they saw you do it. They were there too then.
Absolutely.
Like if I was there, you was there. It's like the person said, you don't want somebody to see you at the strip club? Well, I don't go to them, but if you see me at one, guess who else was there?
That's right.
Guess who else was there? So tell on both of us, stupid.
That's right.
Like what I want us to understand is that we have to surround ourselves with people who value us for who we are, not for who they want us to be. Because we may never get there, man. It just may never happen. And the six-pack is long gone. It ain't coming. Believe me, I've been trying.
Somewhere along the line, and I think it really, really manifested with social media, magnified it even more.
Scary.
That, everything has to be this picture, this perfect plate. Look at where I am. Look at me. Look at me. So
I would push back on that a little bit. And I'll say this. It's easy for us to be caught up in the time that we're in.
Yeah.
And say that it's social media, which is a lot. And I'm going to come to that in a second. But before there was social media, there were pinups. And there was always some pinups, like pinups, like a poster,
Right On
like
magazine?
a poster. Yeah, Right On magazine. Right.
All right.
Right on, or Jet Beauty.
Yes.
I mean,
okay, Beauty. Oh, I got you.
Right. So you looked at the Jet Beauty, you flip all the way to page 43. I'm not saying I know that because I know it, but I just know it because I know it. You look at page 43, you're like, she's all right? But if you don't look anything like that, you're not thinking it's a good look for you right now. And so I'm saying there have always been images of beauty.
Yeah.
And impressions of what was happiness.
It's true.
I know again, in the current context, it's easy to overlook this, but I went to college when Bill Cosby, Dr. Cosby, The Cosby Show was on. Yeah. I watched TV one night a week. I watched I watched The Cosby Show, and I watched A Different World. And that made me feel 10 feet tall and bulletproof. I was like, oh, y'all about to get it. I want Claire, and I'll even take, I'll take Rudy, I'll take the whole crew. That was what I internalized. Yes. There was no social media, but that was what I aspired to be. And then if I could stay up late enough, even in, and if I wasn't studying or whatever I was supposed to be doing, if I could watch Arsenio, somewhere between that, I got a sense of self of being a young black man. You put on some Black Medallions, No Gold, and for me, it was a story. Yes. I knew who I could be. I knew what I could be. There was no social media, but there has always been media.
That's true.
What is the issue is not that there is or was media, it's who is the seed is being planted in. If it's being planted in fertile ground, a sense of self, then you could say whatever you want about black people. But I know you ain't talking about me.
Right.
You can't offend me by saying, because you're not talking about me.
Right.
You might be talking about some black people. You're not talking about me. You're not talking about me. You're not talking about my students. You're not talking about anyone. Nobody close to me.
There. But that comes from having a healthy self-esteem, which today seems to be lacking.
It is. And again, I would say, I don't know that it's a new phenomenon.
I agree.
Because you and I both know, all of us in this room, anybody who's ever walked with a little confidence, like if you ever really want to see confidence, I want you to find a 4 or 5 year old black girl, like a little one, little cherub face, right? Little chubby hands, right?
She's rocking it.
What?
Some pink cowboy boots.
What? But let her be the youngest of 4 siblings. And she's a beast.
Yes.
Oh, she's unbelievable. She's like, everybody just stand back. She walks in the room and you can't tell her nothing.
Right.
Not one thing. Except for the fact that people do. And they make her feel bad for that. You arrogant. You ain't that cute. Why? We start chipping away as soon as she starts to show some shine. We do it. We do it. We do it. How many times somebody say to anybody in this room, "Oh, you think you better than us?" Well, actually, I wasn't even thinking about you. I'm just trying to live. I'm just trying to be me. I'm just trying to do me. Oh, you think you so smart? Why? Okay, what if I did? Is that bad?
Well, you know.
So self-esteem has always been a challenge. It's always going to be a challenge, especially for those of us who are blessed with it.
Yeah.
Because we have to sit and explain why shine is infinite. The more lights that you cut on in a room, the more light there is in a room.
That's right.
They don't, these circuits don't go down. The design, actually, the way these circuits are designed is such that when you turn them on, they actually feed off of one another. So that's the way it is in nature, too. If I give you a compliment, that's only more compliments in the air. Right. It doesn't mean I'm down. Damn, I ain't got no compliments for me coming. In fact, in most cases, when you give a compliment, you tend to get one back.
You may.
You might even get 2 or 3.
Yes.
So where we have to get to, not just as a people, but as a person, we have to get to a place where we feel comfortable enough in ourselves to be honest with ourselves about who we are and are not. Look.
Yes. Write that down, but not while you're driving.
Right.
Yep.
It doesn't mean that you stop working, but you're not that person. And that's all right, too, because you're a lot of other things. Yeah. There's a lot that makes you dope.
Yeah.
But this is not it. And so because you see that in somebody else, you don't have to take that from them. Hold them up as someone to whom you aspire to be. But don't think because they have that attribute that they have everything else.
True.
Nobody has 100% of what it is that they want.
That's true.
Everybody's working towards something.
They are indeed.
As you walk down that path of happiness, though, when you do so with a sense of pride in self, then joy is around the corner.
Amen. That's right. Because it comes in the morning.
Yes, it does.
It does indeed. Now, sometimes these things that you are defining are really big enemies within people. I mean, that they're fighting against these things. And some of them don't really want to scratch or rip the scab off this open wound or pull the Band-Aid off the bullet hole because it's going to hurt.
Well, a lot of people don't even realize how ratchet and low their self-esteem is. These are just mean people.
Oof.
You're like, damn, good morning? Like, you all right? Because these are the people who are just so biting in their, I'm just being honest. Well, maybe you shouldn't be that honest.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just telling you, why you feeling, why you so sensitive? Because I am. Because when you're talking about me, you're not talking about something that I don't care about. You're talking about me.
Yeah.
I submit to you that when you can think of that person who you can't call with good news, delete their number.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
You must, if you could think of it this way, your phone should be filled with people.
That's right.
Who you could call and you have to say, look, girl, all right. You a little too excited. Yeah, I know I got a promotion. I know, but you can't take me out. No, you can put the banner down. Do not come, you better not, don't post it on. You want some people around you who just so excited that you're doing well.
Yes.
They're like, man. And then, because the only reason why you should hesitate to call them, you think, if I call her, she going to have me on the phone for 45 minutes telling me how she knew I was going to get this job, how she knew we were going to be able to have a baby, how she just knew it. And that's what you need around you.
You're right. Can I tell a true story?
Please.
When I wrote Soul Food, what I did was I had been writing books for years quietly while I was working in the record industry. And I collected people who said, girl, if you ever write a book, I'll host you, I'll this, I'll that. Well, the people who are most proud of you should be your family people. So I got a bestseller by calling these people who were proud.
Yep.
My teachers, I knew you could write that book. And everywhere I went to 25 cities, and everybody put more than 100 people in the room. That was my criteria. Put 100 people in the room and I'll come. What? Girl, we're going to have 200. You going to have enough books? And that's how I got a bestseller, because it's just what you said. It were people who were proud. There were people who were not. Yeah. And
because that's real right there.
It is real.
But your story is a testimony.
That's right.
Because the people you didn't call were the people who were like, Why are you writing a book? You in the record industry. What you know about writing books? Why you got to do that? Why can't you do that? Who needs that? Really, who needs that? I mean, we're all too old for that. I don't need somebody. I don't need another person to tell me what I can't do.
Listen.
I tell you, I told one of my colleagues today, here's what we're going to do. We're going to have, because we have one of our schools, graduation, and we were talking about graduation today. And I said, we're going to put on a graduation that is so obnoxious that people are going to say you're doing too much.
Good.
Daggum right.
That's right.
I want them to look at my little black and Latino kids.
Right.
I want them to be like, man, you're doing too much.
Uplift those children.
I want people to look and say, wow, what, really? Really?
And when you say that you can't, the one thing that I feel about is like you don't get to tell me what I can't be, can't do, and what I can't have.
For what?
Let me tell you, that's my ammunition though.
Right.
That's my gunpowder.
Listen, you're going to end up at a footnote in one of my books. I'm going to say, I'm going to call you clown out by name. I'm going to be like, remember when you said.
Oh my gosh.
Because I sure do.
Absolutely.
It's one of the many reasons why with students, when a kid says, Dr. Perry, I want to build a vessel to go to the moon. I'm not going to be the one to be like, man, you can't build no vessel to go to the moon. Like, all right. Because you might could, like my cousins used to say. You might could. You might could build one. And then what? What kind of fool do I look like?
Hello.
Because believe this, somebody told Elon Musk, who's not an astronaut, who's not a scientist, that he couldn't, but he sure did not just put some stuff in the air, but put a car up there just for good measure. Like, now what, fool?
Now.
I put an entire, not just put SpaceX up there, but then I put one of my whips up there.
Okay.
What?
But
big dummy.
But you know what? That's a testimony. So when you talk about these testimonies and going through the test, people, they'll get weary. What is a coping skill for not getting weary?
Well, you got to know that it's a process.
Yeah.
You got to know that it's a process. And you have to set the expectations high so that you create a muscle memory that you never achieve your goal. Mm-hmm. If you've achieved your goals, I really feel sorry for you.
Yay.
It's one of the challenges that I have with one of my sons, as he and I work on him becoming a young man. We've started waking up and working out in the morning. And so he was late this morning to work out. So we got consequences for that. My point to him is, if I have to wake you for something that could make you better,
yes,
then what is that saying about you?
Yes.
But also, what's that saying about me as a father? So what are you saying about us? I at least need to correct my side of this. So you thought you were getting your microphones back? You ain't getting them back. How about that?
How about it?
We need to work towards something bigger than where we are. So I suggest that in order to set yourself up for continued success, move the bar.
Yeah.
Got it too low. If you can reach it, it's too low.
That's true.
It's too low.
The work is necessary, and you have to move the bar, like Dr. Steve is saying. We have to do it for the sake of our children and for the sake of the village. We have to do that. I mean, because everybody doesn't get to come to Wakanda, but we'd like for you to. Mm-hmm. Okay? Now, I know people who love their children more than themselves, but that really gets tricky because they don't love themselves.
Right.
So now they really have to do that work for the sake of us.
Well, I think in order for people to develop the stamina that they need in order to do the work, they have to understand that the work is always being done.
Yes.
And that they're always going to fall short, but they're always going to get the opportunity to try again.
Come on.
And you set these expectations high enough, what you will find yourself doing is reaching new altitudes.
Yeah.
Also, you will find travelers along the way who are going in the same direction. And there's nothing that lifts you up like other people who need being lifted.
Amen. Amen. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, Dr. Steve is going to continue this conversation. Don't go away. I'm Dr. laJoyce Brookshire on Sirius XM Urban View, Channel 126. Welcome back to Ask the Good Doctor. I'm Dr. laJoyce Brookshire, and for a healthy new you, we are laying down the weight, mind, body, and spirit. And this year, as Curtis Mayfield says, we're a winner. Yes. But first, you've got to win the battle within your soul to win the war, and to help us understand just how to have that breakthrough is Dr. Steve Perry, author, social worker, and motivational speaker. I've read that you had a tough childhood. Tell us about it.
Well, I guess it was tough. I guess I, I grew up poor. I was born on my mother's 16th birthday. My father and mother were in an abusive relationship. I lived in public housing until I was in my 20s. But for me, I dug living in the projects. I didn't know any better. I didn't know there was another side. I just figured everybody got blocks of cheese for free.
Okay.
Like I didn't, I just had a different perspective. I just figured, so this is where it starts. I never saw it as an end.
Yeah.
I never saw it as something that was going to be the end of my story. I used to think when I was younger that I would go back to the projects and live there because everybody was cool there. But it wasn't. That's not what I did because that's crazy. But is it tough? I don't know. I suffered through some of the same things, the same traumas that my students do, and they're doing right now. And how dare I take the power away from that which catapulted me to here?
Yes.
I was running from hell, man. I didn't want to. Once I started to recognize, oh wait, people don't live like everybody doesn't live like this. This is not. So the housing authority doesn't go in everybody's house and tell them what they can and cannot put on the wall.
Wow.
I didn't know that was so. I really didn't know. When I started hearing about people doing things like going on vacation, I thought going on vacation was going to Brooklyn and staying at my cousin's house. Like I really did think that was a vacation because it wasn't Connecticut. So
okay.
That's vacation.
Okay.
I thought vacation was just a time between when school was in and when school wasn't in. I didn't know that people did that. And then as I got older and I started to realize, wow, hold on a second. There's a whole different setup out here.
Yes.
Oh God, I need some of that.
Okay.
Like everybody doesn't eat food out of a plastic bag that's already cooked. Like people actually cook and then they sit down and have dinner together. Like I didn't know. I'll tell you, it's a true story. I had a friend who is white who came to my house one time, and I thought we had started to arrive. My wife and I, we had 2 sons at the time, and we have 2 sons still, but we just had our 2 sons, and we had a dining room because you get a house, you get a dining room.
Yeah.
And we had a dining room with a dining room table because that's what goes in the dining room. And he said, "You don't eat at the dining room table?" And I was like, "Nobody eat at the dining room table. It ain't Thanksgiving. Like, why would I do that? Nobody eat at the dining room table." And he said, "Oh wow." And he wasn't offended or offensive, but he said, "Wow, my family ate at the dining room table every night together." I thought, okay. Noted. We got one.
Yeah.
We gonna eat in here. It makes it clean up easier.
Sure enough.
So I didn't know how bad it was until I looked at it from the other side. Now, seeing what my students are going through, I think, whoa. But I also know that you can make it out. For real.
Yes.
And far out.
And you
far
did.
enough to go out and come back.
See?
Harriet Tubman style.
Yes.
Not because you know that you're out when you can go back in. You know that you're out of the hood. You know that you're doing well when you can actually go back and put somebody else on and show them how to get out. You know that you have enough when you can go back and give somebody some of yours and show them how to get there.
That's what
you don't have enough when you're sitting there and you worried about, well, if I tell her how she could get out, then she gonna come take mine. So I need to just I say, hey, Dr. Brookshire, here's the deal. I got out using this means. The door's over there. Because I don't know about you, but when I grew up, you didn't always have enough money to go to the party. So you pooled your money together for him to go in. And you had to pick who was going to go in. Because his black behind had to go and kick the other door in the back open. So if you mess around and give your money to the wrong fool, he'd go and just be in that party like, bro, what are you doing? We out here, it's cold out here. Like, open the door. When you send the right person in, he gonna come out and get you.
Yes.
For me,
Absolutely.
I'm that light-skinned dude y'all let in and didn't think it was gonna go badly for you. I took the door off the hinges in the back. I'm letting everybody in. We all getting in. And so we gonna sit down, we're gonna eat what y'all eating. We gonna make ourselves at home.
Absolutely.
We're gonna make ourselves home. This is our house.
I love it. What Ivy League school did you go to?
University of Pennsylvania.
Okay. All right. That absolutely opened your eyes to a whole lot too.
It did. It showed me that just because you go to Ivy League school, you ain't that much smarter than everybody else. I mean, we all feed into the paradigms, make people feel like they're smarter than they are. And I could sit here and gas the situation up. I enjoyed it. I did. for what it was worth, but excuse me. And I'm not saying I wouldn't send other children to one. It was a fantastic experience for me, but not because it was an Ivy League school. Because once you get there, you're there.
Yep.
And it's a whole bunch of people looking at each other wondering why you there. You know, I couldn't have been on an athletic scholarship because it was graduate school, but I'm here. Okay. But I was on an academic scholarship, a full academic scholarship, didn't pay a dime to go there.
Amen.
Because I had good grades. So I think what I learned most from it was a shot in the arm for confidence, because I never thought I was smart growing up. I didn't. I stayed back in the 3rd grade. I used to get in a lot of trouble. So I didn't think I was smart at all. I honestly thought that I thought being smart was white, and being light skinned, I had to really work hard to be like, hey, because that was grounds for fighting right there. Like
hey,
that was
we're in the same boat,
right.
brother.
That was a guaranteed I was gonna put some hands on you if you said something like that. So I didn't even know that I wanted to be smart. And when I got there, these were people who were supposed to be smart, designated as smart, thought they were smart. And some were smart, but they weren't not any smarter than my grandfather, who couldn't read. And I remember teaching my grandfather phonics.
Wow.
And I remember teaching him how to sound out letters and showing him how to sign his name on checks. Okay. When I was 11. You know, and this is not just some idolatry. He is, you know, he's passed away many years ago, but he is one of the smartest people I've ever met. You're talking about a brother who provided for 9 children and God knows how many grandchildren with a 2nd, 3rd grade education. Isn't that something? Never learned to read. Yeah. Never, not ever. And was able to hustle hard to be able to keep a job on a college campus as a security officer. Used to learned his way around campus by memorizing the names of the buildings. Okay. So he was there at this elite college just doing his thing. Worked through retirement and then after. Literally came up out of the South in the fields all the way up north to do his thing. So what I learned is that intelligence is not a static thing, and it's not defined singularly. It's something that's much more nimble. And when we truly understand and respect what intelligence is, we can respect that more people are smart. Absolutely. And in your school, I know you see plenty of them. Everybody has something that makes them smart. Yeah. Everybody's smart in some way. Even the smartest people do really dumb things, like wickedly dumb things, and as such, you know, we cannot judge a person by one deed, good or bad. That's right. Nobody is as good as their best and as bad as their worst. I love that. Thank you. Well, tell me how you teamed up with Puffy. Last thing. So, real quick, he wanted to start a school. And I'm not saying I didn't believe him. I just wasn't ready for that. And nothing about him, just all about me. I had a school. I was good. I was in my zone. I didn't feel like I needed to do any more. And he was like, nah, bro. Like, what happens if 2 brothers who were doing good did well together? So after about 3 years of having conversations, I was like, let's get it. Okay. And what's the name of the school? Capital Prep Schools. We have Capital Prep Harlem. We're going to have Capital Prep Bronx. And we have Capital Prep Harbor in Bridgeport, Connecticut. I love it. How can people reach you? They can get me at Dr. Steve Perry on Twitter and everything else. I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank you for sharing your story. It's phenomenal, heartwarming, but it shows you yourself have had a breakthrough for a new you. That's what it is. Stay humble, stay hungry. All right. There you go. Well, I'd like to thank you all for joining us.